before we start our new class today, I would like you to, maybe if possible, let's just recap as what we did in the last class. We talked about that we should work without expectation. The stress is because we have expectation, and that is the because we have expectation, we are so much attached to the work. So what we have to do, we have to work without expectation of results. It is very easy to say, but it is very, very difficult to attain that level, because results are dependent upon five things, as Prabhu had mentioned. There are so many things. We expect everything to happen like the way we want, but actually we are just one part of all the five parts that actually causes the result, right? So if we can come to a state, a mental state, where we do our duty, that is what Krishna has said, karmanye vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana. Karmanye vadika raste, please do your duty, but ma phaleshu kadachana, but do not have an expectation to the result, because ma karm phal heturbhur ma te sangosta karmani. Ma means no. So the karm phal is not only dependent upon you, it is dependent, but that should not stop you from not doing your duty properly. That is also sin. We think, okay, if karma is going to impact us, then why should I do if I don't have an expectation result? But this is a very important point which actually we miss when we talk about karmani vadika raste. Mate sangostava karmani. We cannot not do our duty, because if we are not doing our duty, that is also a sin. And again, we will be, we will get a negative impact of that, negative karmas for that, because of which we will continue to have our bondage. So we have to do our duty, right? So work without expectation results, and it is dependent on five factors. So this is the shlok. Adhishtanam tatha karta karanam cha prithak vidham vividhas prithak cheshta devam chevatra panchamam. So there panchamam is there are five. There are five things which actually depends upon this one. Adhishtanam. Adhishtanam is this body, the place which actually does the work. Tatha karta. We are the doer. Karanam. Karanam is the senses. Prithak vidam. There are a lot of other vividhascha prithak cheshta. We all do a lot of effort. That is there. And Dev. The most important is that we may try, but finally it has to be the mercy of God, which will make the thing happen, right? Again, our karma, a lot of other things effect there. And then we talked about the peace formula, that knowing Krishna and he's the controller. So we think I am the controller, I am doing, I should get. No. We are just a puppet in the hand of Krishna. That's what we should remember. And if we can achieve that state, then we will have the will be peaceful. And that is why Krishna says in fifth chapter, Bhoktaram Yagatapsam. Bhoktaram means I am the enjoyer. I am the bhokta. I am the enjoyer of everything. All the yagya, all the tap, all the yagya doing, all the austerity that you are performing, and Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Sarva means all. Lok means all the lok, all the 14 planets we have, and I am the Maheshwaram. I am the god of that. So Surhidam. Surhidam means I am the best friend of Sarvabhutanam. Sarvabhutanam means all the living entity. I am the best friend of all living entity. Gyatva. Someone who has understood that. Mam Shantim Richati. When someone understands this, then what will happen? That person will get Shanti, peace. So we all run after peace. What do we think? We think we'll get peace and happiness by achieving this target, by going for this vacation. But all those things are actually temporary. What happens? It is like just like a clock pendulum. It is like moving one side, another side. We go for a vacation, we achieve something, but what happens? That happiness is short lived. After that, again, we are in a position that we want something more, and we keep on putting effort. It doesn't mean that we should not put effort, but we have to manage our mind. In mind, we should know that whatever is happening is Bhoktaram is all, he is the, he is everything. So if we can attach ourselves to him and have this knowledge, then what will happen? We will have peace. If we did not get promotion, it's fine. I did my effort. I tried my best. But what happened? Because of all the other factors, I didn't get it. So if I can detach myself from that thing, what will happen? I will actually be peaceful. Otherwise, the expectation and everything will cause stress to me, right? Then we talked about tolerate, which is beyond our circle of influence. Many things that happens in our life. Some death may happen. We may lose our business. We may lose our job. We may lose something. But then we should know one thing, that we have to, at that point of time, very clearly Krishna talks that we have to tolerate. This is in the second chapter. He says, Matra sparshastu konteya. Basically, Matra, it is only sparsh. It is only the, like, this is a body. So it is only an external factor. O konteya, O Arjun, all this shitoshna sukh dugdha. Sheet means cold. Ushna means hot and cold and summer. Sukh and dukh. What are these? They're only the, it is only a happiness, distress. This is only a sparsh. It's only, and what we need to do, we cannot do anything. We have to tolerate it. And how will you tolerate it? Because when, it is very easy to say tolerate it, right? But then Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, he actually gives us the tools, and if we follow those tools, we can get a capability of tolerating whatever, at whatever stage that we want to, right? So always remember, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives us the tool by which we can actually learn how to tolerate. So Krishna says, which are beyond the circle of influence, right? Then what we learned, connected to higher purpose, that is, yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi dadasi, yat tapasi konteya, yat krushmadarpana. So what is one of the method Krishna explains to us? One of the method is yat karoshi. That is one of the tool. What is the tool? Whatever we do, whatever, put Krishna in the center of our life. And when I say put Krishna in the center of life, means yat karoshi, whatever you are doing, yat ashtasi, whatever you eat, yat juhoshi, whatever you are, bringing, the dasiyat, or whatever charity you give, what you do, yat tapasasi, whatever austerity you are performing, konteya, o Arjun, tat karoshi madarpanam. Offer it to me and then do it. For example, if I cook food, don't just cook food and just eat it, but offer it to Krishna, then take the prasad and eat it. So what happens? That food becomes spiritualized. That food become spiritualized. Similarly, we are working in our office. What we need to do? We go to office and we thank Krishna for giving us an opportunity to work. Yeah, and offer whatever we get as a salary. When you come back home, offer it to Krishna. That this is the salary that I have got, keep it, this is yours. From there, take the money for managing your family. So if we are in a mental state that all that we have connected to in our family, all are gifts of Krishna, and what we are going to do is, we take from from whatever salary we have got, we take the money out for managing our family, for getting our food, for our vacation. But we have given everything to Krishna. From there we are taking it out and spending, because we have this body and we have to live our life. But then what has happened? Everything has become spiritualized. What has happened? Everything has become, it is no more a ordinary food. It has become prasad now. What has become? It has become prasad. We are not, and when and my experience is that if we live life like that, you will have the peace and happiness that we are looking for. Yeah. So whatever we do, we put Krishna in the center of our life and live our life. This is what we said. You can have the stress and workload management. Yeah? If not, then we go to mind management. This is what our topic for today is: mind management, strengthening focus, calming anxiety, and developing clarity in thoughts and action, right? So my question, I'm sure Abhijit Prabhu would have taken all of you through this, but I would like to again bring all of us on the same page. So I will probably be a small repetition for you, but let me take you through this. What is mind? So, yes, please, Himangi, tell me what is mind.
It is controlling authority and center of our intelligence.
It is a
It's like
controlling
controlling
authority.
authority of our body.
Definitely, it's a controlling authority. Where that's a very right thing. Yeah, we continue. Akash, Akash Prabhuji, yes, yourself. What is mind?
It is one of the aspect of our gross body, like mind, intelligence, and false ego. One of the
Yes,
shlokas Prabhuji has done. So their mind, the mention of mind was there. So it is
yes,
one of the entity of our gross body.
yes, absolutely right. Aishwarya Mataji, yourself.
Yeah, it's our conscious state where we get to think and we get to act to situations.
Absolutely right, right? So let us now, any other one, any other person? Yeah, okay. So let us see. So what have we have actually in bits and pieces we have answered it. So what does Krishna says, what is mind? It says here, and the mind is here. What this shows is, so mind is the storehouse of desires and memories. Mind is the storehouse of all our desires and memories, whatever. So whatever desires we had in our previous life or now, where exactly it gets stored? Gets stored in our mind, memories, right? It is the faculty of thought and feeling. The thoughts and feeling comes from mind. And it is a mind which makes us travel. It travels us with us from one life to another. Along with the soul, when we leave the body, mind, intelligence, and false ego, they also go along with us to the next life. So it also travels with us, right? And it is one of the cause of the bondage or liberation. Because of the what do you call it? Because of mind, we are here today on this earth, in this material world, because it is the cause of our bondage. It is the cause of our bondage. And if we manage our mind well, we can actually get liberated. We can get liberated. So it is a very, very important part, and to understand how mind works, because it is a mind which will cause us to get bound in the cycle of birth and death, and it is the mind which can also help us to get liberated. Okay? So before we talk about mind management, what we have to manage, we should know what are we talking, what is that, right? Before we talk about mind management, we should know what we need to manage and why we need to manage, isn't it? So imagine, it is the mind. Why it has to be managed? Because it is the cause of our being in this earth. Yeah, we have not got moksha because of, we have not got liberated because of our mind. So that is such an important thing, right? Hmm? Now we go to the next question. Where does mind exist? I think one of the person answered also. Where does mind exist? Someone answered actually. Yeah. So now, anyone would like to answer this? Where does mind exist? Yeah. So let me answer this question. Where does mind exist? It is, so to understand where does mind exist, we'll have to understand ourselves. So these are very, very important concepts. I'm sure Abhijit Prabhu has taken you through, but I'll still like to take all of us together so that we are on the same page before I go into deeper concepts, right? So it is very, very important for us to understand, who am I? What is me? What the one we are sitting in front of, all of us, like Meenal Mataji, Amit Prabhu, Aishwarya Mataji. What are we? What is the nature of ourself? And for that, it is very important to understand, who am I and what is my real identity. These are a very, very important question, because if I have to manage mind, I should know this, because then only I'll be in a position to manage my mind. So who am I and what is my real identity? So anyone, who am I?
I am soul.
Absolutely right. Anything else? Is it only soul or something more than that? Anything more than that? I'm only soul or something more than that? What is my real identity? Okay. So let me let me take you through this.
We are
Yeah.
body mind, where the soul exists.
We are?
Body, mind, and the soul. It's a combination of all the three.
Yes, we are body, mind, and soul. Absolutely right. So let us now see. Let us now go into a bit detail. What is consciousness? That is, what is the difference between a living person and dead person? What is the difference between a living
Uh,
person and dead person?
yeah, a living person is able to react or reciprocate to a situation, whereas a dead person, we don't get to see their reaction to a given situation. They might be reacting, but yeah, we don't get to see that.
Very good. Anyone else?
There is an absence of soul in the dead person, whereas a living person has a soul.
Very correct. Anything else? So yes, the difference between a living person and dead person is, the what you call as soul is basically, before that it is consciousness. The consciousness is missing in the dead person. Everything bodily we all know looks same, something is missing, right? And that which is missing is the consciousness, right? So now let us see, what is the difference between a living person and dead person? Presence and an absence of consciousness. We know that the living person has a consciousness, we all are we can react, but a dead person will not react. That is a consciousness. So now let us go to the next level of consciousness. We say,
I,
we say,
I have one question. The
yes,
plants are also living. So
yes,
they don't have consciousness.
they have consciousness.
In which form they have consciousness?
They also have soul.
They have soul, but consciousness, they cannot reflect anything, no? So how
Yeah, they are achar. They are not non-moving, but they are also conscious because they grow, right?
yeah,
You know,
that's it. Yeah.
right. Now, if we see what is the source of consciousness, let's see. Now, normally what we say, let's look at ourselves. We say, I see. We say, I hear, right? I see, I hear. Who is the I here? What is I here? Is it the body? Is when I say I see or I hear, is it Shushmita that sees or is it someone else who is seeing? When you say Himangi says Himangi sees, is it Himangi body is seeing or is it something else is seeing?
It's a mind
So
which sees.
Is the mind that sees? Okay. Now, if it's a mind we're seeing, we say my hand, my leg, right? We don't say I hand, I leg. If it is I mind, then is hand and leg a part of mind? It is a part of body, right?
Body. It's a part of the body.
It's a part of body. It means when I say my hand, my leg, so they are part of body. But I don't say I don't say my see, my here. I don't say my see, my here. It means I is someone different than my. Do we agree to it? Do we agree to it that I and my are two different things?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because we all
Yes.
say I see, we say I see, I hear, but then we say my hand, my legs. So if it is Sushmita, my hand, my legs, right? Now, when someone dies, we say he has passed away or she has passed away. Who is that he or she that we are talking about? Is it this body? The body is still there. Then what is passed away?
Soul has passed away.
Soul, yeah. So when
Soul
I
has
say,
soul and
right, so it is I see, I hear is basically is the soul inside, right? And it's my hand, my leg. It is soul says it is my hand, my leg. This is body, but someone inside is telling that. And when you say he has passed away, she has passed away, it's the soul which has passed away. Just everything is same, right? So what we say, what this I is nothing, but I is actually the consciousness is nothing but the soul which is inside our body. So Krishna says we don't have to memorize. I won't take you in detail, but I'm sure this you would have seen in the last classes. It says avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvam idam tatam vinasham avyasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. Krishna says that which pervades the entire body, that consciousness which pervades the entire body, you should know is indestructible. It means it always stays, it's eternal. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So that I, that he which has passed away, or that I which can see, or whose hand is there, that is the imperishable soul, right? And also, so everyone answered when I said, what is my nature? We said that I am soul. That is absolutely right. That is the first part. That is the spiritual identity of all of us. But then in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Krishna also mentions that Mamai Vansho Jeeva Loke Jeev Bhuta Sanatana. He says, not only that I am soul, it is not only that I am soul, but Mamai Vansho Jeeva Loke Jeev Bhuta Sanatana. It's a very, very important line. Mam means mind. Ansh means peace. My peace. Mamai Vansho, my peace. Jiva Loke means in this whole lok, in this whole planet. Jiva Bhuta means all the living entity, whether it is a plant, whether it is an animal, whether it is all of us. Sanatana means eternal. So who are we? We are nothing but an ansh of Krishna. Mamai Vansho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All the living entity, all the living entity that we have, they are actually ansh of, they are ansh of Krishna. And not only ansh of Krishna for some time, they are Sanatana. Sanatana means eternal. So that is our real identity. We are not only a soul, but we are a part and parcel of Krishna. Got it? That's a very, very important thing. It is 15th chapter, 7th shlok. Mamai Vancho Jeeva Loke Jeev Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna says, claims that all of us are ansh. We are part and parcel of, we are fragmental parts of Krishna. Okay? So now if I have to add all the things that we have studied, I can say, who am I? I am soul, and body is different than soul, right? So I am soul and body is different than soul, and this is my core or fundamental identity. That is my fundamental identity, that I am basically soul and body is different from soul, right? So who am I is I am soul, but what is my real identity? I am not a material being, I am a spiritual being. That is a difference. What is my real identity? Why don't we feel happy when we go for all the parties and all the picnics and all the vacations, and still when we come back and we achieve everything, but still we feel something is missing after some time? The reason is that our real identity is we are spiritual beings. So anything which is material can give us happiness only for short time. It can only give us happiness for short time, because we are spiritual being. Only when we move to spirituality, when we understand who am I, that I am a part and parcel of Krishna, and I attach myself to Krishna, then I will feel the permanent happiness. So anyone who has come here to find peace and happiness, if we understand this part, that my actual identity is that I'm a spiritual being. So when I am a spiritual being, how can I get happiness? It is like, if I'm human, how will I get happiness by a dog's food? I cannot, right? I need food for human. Similarly, if I am a spiritual being, how can I get happiness by the material happiness? A promotion, why is it that in Western you have all the money and still you're not happy? Everything you have, whatever you can, not only everywhere, even in India you have everything, but still we are looking for peace. Why? Because we are spiritual being. Only when we attach ourselves to Krishna, we will actually get the real happiness, because mamai vansho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, we all are part and parcel of Krishna. Got this point? It's a very, very important point for us to understand. And if we can understand and live like that, then then happiness and peace is not very far away. Okay, so this is something which is the core or fundamental identity. But the question is, if I am a soul or a body, right, and I say I'm traveling to a different country, and I go to immigration and say, I am, who are you? They ask me for my passport and I say I'm a soul. Will they allow me to enter the country? No. Because, so we have to understand, although I am the soul, which is my spiritual identity, which is my fundamental or core identity, but I have taken this body. I am wearing this body. I am wearing this body. My soul is inside this body. And this body is the functional identity. It is the functional identity, which is the body. And this body is temporary, whereas the fundamental identity, which is the soul, is permanent. Soul is permanent, but this functional identity that we have is temporary. And then bodily we define ourselves as on based on nationality, or we can define ourselves as profession, gender. So this is our multi-level identity. Understood? Yeah. So we have a bodily identity, that we when we are in our material world, we get all of us addressed ourselves as by our name, by our body, right? And that is how we are recognized in this material world, right? But then if we continue to live and identify ourselves with material world, then what will happen? We will never get permanent happiness. Our happiness will only be temporary, and it will keep on, just like a pendulum, it will keep on moving up and down, happiness, distress, right? But then if we understand that our core identity, that we are spiritual being, and we connect ourselves to Krishna, and then Bhagavad Gita explains everything, how, what, when, and what are the process, then what will happen? We will actually get the peace. That is the peace formula that we talked about, right? Okay, so this is the identity that we talked about, right? So then okay, then the question is that if we are soul, then why do we get this body, right? If we are part and parcel of Krishna, then why do you think? So question to all of you, if we are soul, then why do we have this body?
Due to karma.
Yes, due to karma. Very correct. More Anyone else?
Yeah, to
Because of the
fulfill our desires.
Very good. Because our
And we
desires,
want
very good.
we wanted to be the master and enjoyer.
Absolutely right. Yeah. So that's absolutely right. Anyone else? Yeah. So we are soul. And what was our position? We were in Golok Vrindavan in Vaikunt with Krishna and doing our service to Krishna. But what happened? We never liked it. We wanted to be master of our senses. We wanted to enjoy separate from Krishna. And then what Krishna does? What does a loving father do? I think all of us would have experienced. What has happened when we are in a family, when we are a young child? We all like to be with our parents, but when we grow, what do we want to do? We want to go away and create our own family, have our own family, and then we want to come back to parents, but not always. So just like that, what happens? Just like that, what happens? All of us also, all of us also were with Krishna, but we didn't like it. We wanted to enjoy, we become master, right? We wanted to become master. And what will your father do? What does a father does when the kids have grown up? They have studied in Kurukshetra, they have studied in various institutes. What they do, they let the child go and establish their own home. They get us married and send us away so that we can live there, right? And on our own, and they create something for us. Similarly, what did Krishna do? Krishna created this material world for us. He created this world in which we are. In Hindi, we call it Maya Jal, right? So this is the material world. We were from spiritual world. So we are spiritual being, a part and parcel of Krishna, but we were not happy. We had grown up and we wanted to be away from our father. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he is the father of all. We'll read that stroke later. So what we did, he was very kind. He created this whole material world for us. And he sent us here. He says, okay, he gave us a body and he said, you go. Now what happens is this material world is actually conditioned. So the soul is pure. The soul is pure. But as soon as it comes in contact with the material world, it doesn't remain pure at all. It doesn't remain the same pure soul. It doesn't remain the same pure soul. What happens? It becomes conditioned. What happens? It becomes conditioned. Condition means what? It becomes conditioned with, have you heard about the three modes of material nature? Rajas, Tamas, and Sattvam. Are you aware about that?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
So what happened is, as soon as this material world is actually has three modes of material nature. And what are the three modes? It is goodness, passion, and ignorance. This is what in this world is, and it is of different proportion. How it is, you can compare, like, we all of us have studied in our school that there are three primary colors, RYB. Do we know this? There are three primary colors, RYB, right? Red, yellow, blue, isn't it? And but what happens is, although there are three primary colors, but then what happens? Anything where there's so many different colors that we have in this universe, right? All are nothing but a mixture of those three primary colors, isn't it? Huh? Similarly, what happens? Goodness, passion, and ignorance is in this material world, and all of us have a different percentage of us in that. Us, goodness, passion, and ignorance, based on, many of you said rightly, our desires, our karmas, and the way we had been, right? We'll go to that. So based on that, we got a body. Why? We got a body of human, someone got a body of dog, someone got a body of plant. It is because of our karma. It is because of our karma, our desires. Yeah. Why someone, so it is based on our desires that we have done in our previous life, we get a body. We get a body. So whatever we desire, whatever the way we live in our life this life, accordingly we'll get a body in our next life. Understood? So why did we get this body? Because we wanted to enjoy our senses. And because we wanted to enjoy our senses, what happened? Just let me make it. Because we wanted to enjoy our senses, so what happened? because we wanted to enjoy our senses, so we were sent to this material world. We were sent to this material world, and each of us, you may be wondering, two brothers, two sisters in the same family, we will notice that the children that we have of the same parent, we have different nature. And sometimes we wonder, how come that our parents are same, but my behavior is so different than my sister's behavior or my brother's behavior? It is all because of the three modes of material nature, the percentage of goodness, passion, and ignorance that we have, which is again based on our desires, our karma, and other things. Okay, so now we go back to our, let me go back to slide. We were here. So where does mind exist? So if we are soul, then why did we get this body? So we understood why did we get this body. So it is because of our desires. And where does the desire, what is mind? Mind is the storehouse of desires. So that's why mind we have to control, because all desires are stored here. If we are not controlling our mind, then we are sure to get a next birth based on the desires which are there in the mind. Again, based on desires we do karma. So desire, karma is also because of the desires that come. So desires again are, karma is also because of desires. And then ignorance of true self, which means, ignorance of true self means that knowing that I am actually a pure soul and part and parcel of Krishna. Because we don't know, so we don't know what to do, right? So we become, as soon as we come to the material world, we become a conditioned soul, right? Clear? If it is so, then what I'll do is, let me come here. So then we talked about body and soul. So now let us go to body. So body is made up of dead matter. Body is dead matter. Soul is living. Soul is what which is living, which is embodied in the body. But the body that we have, it is a dead matter. It is made up of 24 elements that we will go in detail later. But at a higher level, we can say that the body is made up of gross elements and subtle elements. These are the two elements of which the body is made up of. Okay, so if you see the picture, it is like this. We have, this is my external body, the light pinkish color, and second, this two is my subtle body. So this body is gross metal, which we all can see of each other's, which is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And the subtle elements is mind, intelligence, and false ego. And then we have soul. So when we die, this gross element is burnt. This element gets burnt, और हम बोलते हैं मिट्टी से आए थे मिट्टी में चले गए, क्योंकि this is what will happen when we are burnt. We'll again mix back to the gross elements. The subtle elements, which is mind, intelligence, and false ego, they actually cover our soul. They cover our soul, and it goes from this life to the next life. So all the impressions that we have about our desires, about our karma, that is mind, intelligence, and ego. This is being carried, and as is a false ego because it is not pure. I, mind, that is false ego. So this carries along with soul to the next life, right? And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I'm sure you would have already studied this shlok, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara तथा देहांतर प्राप्तिर धीरस तत्र न मुह्यते. Dehi means soul. Dehi means something which is inside. Dehi no asmin. Asmin means this. Yatha means just like. Dehe. Dehe is body. Dehe is body. In this body, just like we have Dehi, which is inside this body, which is inside the Dehi, the soul inside the body. What does it do? When the soul is inside, then what happens to the body? It grows to Kaumaram. It achieves to young boy, young child, young boy, then Yauvanam, which is youth, and then Jara, that is old age. So when till the soul is there in the body, it is embodied in the body keeps on growing from childhood to youth to old age. And then what happens? Tatha dehantara praptir. देहांतर मतलब changing the body. Dehantar praptir dhira. Dhira means the wise people. Tatra na muhyati. They don't get worried because they know that after old age, what will happen? What does the dehi do? The soul do? Just like we have a old shirt, what do? We throw the old shirt and buy a new shirt. Similarly, the soul throws the old body and changes the body from continues the journey from the old body to the new body. Understood? So as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered. So someone who is wise understands that and does not cry or moan on the death. Clear? So it is just like, we change the shirt, or we can talk about a mobile and SIM. When our mobile becomes old and a new mobile comes, we keep the SIM. SIM is the soul. The SIM we keep, we change the phone, right? So the mobile phone hardware is like a body, and SIM is like the soul that can be compared, right? Now, where does mind, we are in the topic, where does mind exist? So we saw that body has got three parts. We saw that there's a gross element, then there's a subtle element, and mind, intelligence, and false ego is here, and it gets embodied in the soul. It always covers the soul and moves from one body to another, which carries. So what does the mind carry? Is the storehouse of desires and memories. It is a faculty of thought and feeling. Intelligence, very, very important. It is the faculty of discrimination, faculty of reason and judgment. And false ego means I, mine, and others. So the sense of I-ness. So this three goes from this body to another. So now we are clear, where does mind exist? Yes, please.
Just one simple question. Then, like in last slide, as per the shloka, from childhood to the old age, then why some people don't complete this cycle? Maybe due to past karma?
Yes, we don't complete the cycle means we die early.
Yes,
We die
yes.
early. It is all our karma. It is all our karma. And very simple, you have to remember one thing. Krishna says 2.14. Matra sparshastu konteya shitoshna sukh dukhda. What we have to do? Matra sparshastu konteya. Oh konteya, oh. What we have to do? We have to just tolerate it. All these things that happen, someone dies, we cannot change it. It is that circle of influences beyond us. When those things happen with us in our life, someone loved ones leaves us and go, dies, what do you have to do? We have to know that this is the karma, this is what, it's our karma as well as his karma, because that is the relation that we have. We have to just tolerate it. Krishna doesn't say that, do this, do that. He says you have to titikshasva, you have to tolerate it. Yes, Mataji, Lily Mataji, you
My
can
question
speak.
is that yeah, why the person commits suicide? Suddenly
Again,
there's see that there's suicide. What is
Mataji, it is all karma.
yeah?
It is all karma. And it is not only karma of that person. It is the karma of the parents, of the nearby that you have. Because always remember, my husband, my child, my parents, they are my closest karma. It is no one's else. No, normally what happens, we always blame others, that person is not doing well. No, always remember, it is a tit for tat. I had done something to that person in some life, which I am now, he is giving me back, or he or she is giving back in this karma. So if we have clear from that perspective, we will learn to tolerate it. We will start seeing life in a different way, because we always think that I am so good, why is I'm suffering, why is this person doing like this to me, why this. So if someone can commit suicide, it is not only that it is his karma, but the karma of the parents, karma of the wife, or whatever, because they all had been related, and there is some karma because of which that person has become your husband, your child, your parent, or whatever it is. So the closest relation that we have in our life, that is all because our karma. And if I'm suffering, it is not because of that person, it is because of me, because I have done this to that person sometime in some life, and now it is just coming back to me. So if someone has suicide, now I am suffering because I am alive, that person is anyway gone, right? But then I am suffering because it is my karma. And we can actually, if we understand that I am a spiritual being connected to Krishna and how I should live my life, then actually you can come out of this. So it's all because of mind. If we start trying to manage our mind properly, if we know that, then what will happen? I will be able to, it will not matter to me whatever changes are happening around me. We will start seeing it, why it is happening logically, and we will be able to distance ourselves means our soul, from that activity which is happening. So let me share my slide. Are you able to see my slides? Okay, so this we know, we saw this one. And acha, now this is something very important. So we talked about where does mind exist. This we have done. So the next question becomes, how does the mind interacts with the soul? How does this whole interaction happens between soul and body? What exactly it happens? So we learned that soul is the root of consciousness, right? If soul is not there, then the body is a dead body, right? So the root of consciousness, because we all are living, it means we have a soul. So the consciousness is because of soul. Now, what is mind does? The soul, this consciousness gets transmitted to body via mind. We are clear now about the relationship? So soul is the source of consciousness, but that consciousness via mind goes to the body. So that is a passage through which the consciousness reaches body. So as soon as soul goes with mind, body becomes dead. Clear? Any questions? We are clear? Any questions? Or I move forward? Now, this is a shlok which Krishna says. He says, Shotram chakshu spashnam cha rasnam ghanameva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishya anupasevate. It means Shotram. Shotram means hearing. Chakshu means seeing. Spashnam means touch. Rasnam means taste. Ghanama means smell. So these are our senses, right? We hear, we see, we feeling of touch, rasnam taste, tongue, and the ghaname means the smell. All these senses that we have, how are they are grouped? Adhishtaya manaschayam. All these senses are actually grouped with the mind. So they are very closely connected to the mind. Can you see the relation? The senses are closely connected to the mind, and because of this mind, we vishya anupas, because of this, because the mind is so closely connected to all the sense objects, we enjoy. So our senses are the thing which interacts with the outer world, right? You agree? It is through our eyes we see some enjoyment, we see movies. It is through our tongue we taste good food. It is through our nose we taste smell. It is through our touch we feel happiness. With eyes we see things, right? Here we see good things, right? So it is our senses which connects the outer world, and from this outer world, via the senses, which is good about the mind, it reaches mind. From the mind we actually enjoy. So the living entity, which is the soul, thus taking another gross body, obtain a certain type of eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Right? Clear? Fine.
Yeah.
So now, because I'm not able to see, let me just change it to now. Speaker. Okay, fine. Let me now share my screen again. Yeah, so now next question comes. So this is how it works. So then let's so now since we are going to manage the mind, we have to understand the mind. I'm just talking about how the mind works. So the question is, how does the mind works? Yeah. So anyone who can answer this one, how does the mind work? It's very important for us to understand that. So let us see, how does the mind work? So this is now it is like, so this is our body, this is our mind, and this is our soul, right? Now body is at a physical level, right? We can see the body, so it is at a physical level. Mind is a mental level, right? And the soul is a spiritual level. They are at three different levels. So our body is at three levels. The body, which is at a physical level, and all of us actually know the physical level, and we live in our world with the physical level. We don't bother about the mind or the soul, right? So actually our body is grouped into three parts: body, mind, and soul. Now physical level, mental level, spiritual level. Now to understand this more clearly, we will take an example of metaphor of mobile, right? So the mobile hardware is our body. We can compare the mobile hardware to our body, right? Now the software that we install in our mobile, that is our mind, and the soul is the SIM. Okay. Now, if you have to do Paytm or you have to do Google Pay, what do? You user, we, the soul, actually enables the software, and through that pays the money out to whatever is. This is how the interaction happens, right? Now, if the software that we have is corrupted, what will happen? If the software that we have if is misbehaving, then what will happen? If you are, it means if you are giving junk to the body, if the software is corrupted, what will happen? Output will also be corrupted. Do we agree? If the software is corrupted, then the whatever input we'll give to the body, accordingly we'll get the output. So if our software is corrupted, accordingly the junk, if we are giving garbage to our mind, we are actually feeding garbage to the body, and accordingly we'll get the result. Now, what happens? How does the mind behaves is, mind, as I told you, travels along with soul, right? Now it carries all the past experiences we have. It has the past, pleasant and unpleasant experiences, right? So when it takes birth along with soul, the mind is having the pleasant experiences of our future previous life, as well as unpleasant experiences of our life. Yeah. So because of that, what happens? This soul, it means we, behaves in a different way. Why two people don't behave in the same way? Because each of them have different impressions of from their previous life, right? So because of that, what happens? Because of our expressions, whatever is there, some people, you will sometimes wonder that why this person is behaving like this. It is because of the impressions that they have, even in this life. When they take decisions, this actually impacts. This impacts. So the previous experiences that we have, that also impacts the life, the today's decision that we are making. Many times we say, oh, this child is a born genius, he is so good in maths, he is so good in music, right? It is because that soul would have had practiced that in the previous life, and that is coming. Now, sometimes when we have very unpleasant experiences in our life, and that is carried in this life, what happens? We, instead of focusing on the present of today, what we do, this mind guides the soul in a wrong way. Tells, based on the previous experience, says, no, this person is not good. Many times, we meet some people, we just don't like them. We don't know why. It is coming from the previous impressions that we have. And then what happens? It drains us. It drains us. Clear? So this is how the body and soul interacts, and the mind shapes the influences the soul to take some decisions, right? So you can see how important mind is, and how important role that it plays in our life. So it is very, very important that we manage this mind, because if we are aware about all these things, then we can be conscious that why it is happening. We can focus on present and see how we can change it, right? Right? So now, I'm sure all of you would have heard about this analogy in childhood, or from your parents or someone. So this analogy is from a Upanishad called Katha Upanishad, and it says that if we consider this chariot as our body. Do you have any questions?
Where we have the emotions in this
Mind.
Boxes, in these boxes,
Mind is the center of, is a function. What is it? It stores thoughts and feelings, right? So the emotions are in mind.
Okay.
So mind has desires, and mind has emotions, and right? So it is there.
Right.
Any other question?
So where does this consciousness sits in? I mean, between body, mind, and soul. I mean, we are
Soul.
talking about gross body.
Consciousness is in soul. Amit, Prabhu, it's in soul. The soul, because consciousness is in soul. As soon as soul goes away, person is dead. Any other question? Are you getting bored? Am I very slow, or should I increase my speed?
No, it's comfortable.
Huh?
Yeah,
Are you
it's fine.
enjoying the
Speed is
class?
fine. Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
fine.
fine.
So because I'm taking a bit. If you feel I'm very slow, then I will make it faster. Huh? Okay, so it's fine. Then I'll continue with the same speed. So now let me share with you the the chariot analogy. So what really happens? We faces stress in our life. We faces so many sufferings in our life. Look at this particular example. This chariot is our body. Okay, the passenger who is sitting in this chariot is our soul. The soul, because the soul will change the body, right? And body is our chariot, right? This horse is our senses. They are our ears, eyes, tongue, which is senses, right? This rain that you see here, this is our mind. This is our mind. And this charioteer is our intelligence. This charioteer is our intelligence. Okay, clear? So our chariot is our body. The passenger is our soul, which is Atma. The horse is our senses. The reins is our mind. And the intelligence, which is very, very important, which we don't bother, is our buddhi, is our charita. So this is how the Kathopanishad describes our body. Okay. Now, what happens? Imagine our senses are not controlled. We want everything, right? We want X, we want Y, we want Z. So think about this is our tongue. This horse is our tongue. Now this horse wants to go and eat something, grass or some, black gram somewhere which is kept here. Whereas this horse is seeing another beautiful horse somewhere and wants to go and join that horse. And this horse is very thirsty, wants to go and drink water. So what will happen? All the three horses wants to run in a different direction. And that is what actually happens in our life. Our senses, they want to run in different direction. Now, if this rains, the rope which is in the hand of charioteer in intelligence, if this reins are held weakly, what will happen? The rope will actually, when they push, when they try to run, the ropes will be get loose, and the horses will start going in different direction. And when they start running in different direction, what will happen to the charioteer and the soul? The passenger will fall down, right? The passenger fall down, and the intelligence will also not be able to do anything, isn't it? So if the intelligence is weak and not able to hold the rope strongly, and senses are running here and there, then what will happen? The rope will get, because the intelligence is weak, the rope will be left and the sensors will run in different direction. It means what will happen? The passenger is finally going to fall, and we all will fall. Do you agree? Any questions? Okay. So we are here. So this is what is our self. So what happens is, as we saw, and this is why we suffer in our, yes, there's a question. Aishwarya, you have some question?
No. I just said I'm able to see you.
Okay, great. Yeah. So we continue. So what happens if the charioteer is weak? So it means if the buddhi, intelligence is weak and the reins are slack, then what will happen? Horses will run uncontrolled. And so if the intelligence is weak and the mind is weak, then the senses will run uncontrolled. The passenger in the chariot will fall down helplessly. The soul will be dragged helplessly, experiencing confusion, suffering, and misdirection. If the charioteer is strong and is holding the reins strongly, what will happen? The horses will be controlled and the passenger will reach its destination, right? This is what will happen. So if the intelligence is strong and the mind is controlled, then the senses will be controlled and soul would reach to its destination happily. This is what we saw in the example. So this is what happens in our life. What happens? When chariot goes wrong, we have untrained horses. It means our senses are not controlled. We get attracted to sensual addiction, distraction. So when our senses are not controlled, our horses are not controlled, then what will happen? We will have unsteady mind. We will suffer anxiety, indecision, all these problems we will face in our life. It means our mind is not strong. right? It will get carried away by the senses, and then the charioteer is blind, charioteer is weak. That is why the mind could let the rope go. So what we'll do? We'll make poor life choices. We'll make poor life choices, and the sleeping passenger, the passenger, what will happen? Will forget that who am I? What is my purpose? I'm a part and parcel of Krishna. I'm supposed to actually get attached to Krishna, and that the passenger will get lost in the material world, the the glitters of the material world, and then we'll lose the peace and purpose. So if we know what is our peace and purpose, that we are part of Krishna and we have to go back to Krishna, so this is our peace and this is the goal of our life. And but instead of that, if we are getting lost in the glitter of this material world, we will never have peace and happiness. Yeah, but as the stronger connection we have with Krishna, the more peace and purpose we will actually start experiencing, right? Now, so what does this chariot model tells us? What does it says? Control the senses through the mind, train the mind through intellect. So we have to train the mind through intellect, the buddhi, the intelligence that we have, and guide the intellect with spiritual knowledge. And how can we strengthen our buddhi? By spiritual knowledge. So all of you, instead of on a Sunday evening going for a party and having fun somewhere else, you all decided to join Bhagavad Gita class. So you are trying to understand the spiritual knowledge so that you can have a better control over your buddhi. And when you have a better control over your buddhi, you will have better control over your mind, which in turn will control your senses. And that will give you peace. And then what will happen? Then the soul can reach the true destination of inner peace and liberation. Clear? Are we clear about this chariot model? Any questions?
So, is there any role of false ego in this model? I mean, we can't see the third subtle element in this
Yeah.
picture.
So everything is because of that. In a way, what is false ego? False ego says attachment. I. So what we do, it thinks, see what we really do in our life. Everything the way we are, we think about I and mine. It is my house. It is mine. And all of us actually throughout our life struggle to create things for me or my kids or my family. So this I and mine is false ego. It means we have to detach ourselves from I and mine. Nothing is yours. If you really see, nothing is ours. Everything was there. Tomorrow, if I die, the land will still be there. It will belong to someone else. It will belong to someone else. But because of our attachment of I and mine, what happens? We lose our peace. And that is what is false ego. False ego means attaching I. I means the soul to the material things which it doesn't belong to. Soul is spiritual. We have to attach it to spiritual things, which is Krishna. But what we do, we attach soul I to material things. And because of that attachment of I to material things, we lose our peace. You getting me?
Yeah, one question.
Yes.
Is soul a passive spectator of the life journey? Just seeing that how the mind will take it, where the senses will take it, and soul will not guide it or anything?
No, soul will not guide. So it all depends upon, you use a very good word, spectator observer. If we can make that. So there are two things. So basically that is finally, how we need to do. But probably I'll if I have time, I'll be able to cover in today's class, or I'll take it to the next class. So soul is, it is like this. Are you able to see me in the soul is too much embodied by the mind. It is so much attached to the mind that it listens to the mind. Whereas if we can make the soul a spectator and make it strong, the intelligence strong, that we don't let do what the mind wants us to do, then we can actually move towards, then we will be actually on the path of liberation. But today what happens, we are so much covered, or like as I showed you the picture, it is embodied. Let me just show. Like, we saw three circles. soul is in the center circle, and after that we have the covering of mind and all. So it is covered. It is not the spectator yet. But if we can make it a spectator and soul knowing connected to Krishna, then we can actually start having control over our mind. But today it's not. I mean, then we'll have a different. Then we can actually move towards peace. So we know about mind already. So we'll now enter into the next topic, which is mind management. So we know what is mind. We know where does mind, where exactly the location of mind. We know how does the mind works. So now, when we know all these things, we know what is the important role it is playing, because mind is the one which can actually liberate us or it can bound us. So today we are in this material world, bound with the cycle of birth and death because of our mind. So that is why it is so important to manage it. So now let us go to the next slok. Now this slok is a part of your, I use lot of sloks. Those sloks will not be like, you can, this is something I'll go into detail of. So whichever slok I go into detail will actually be a part of, it will be questions can come from there, right? So mind management. So let us see what Krishna says. How can we manage the mind? So let us see. So it says, Udhared Atmanatmanam. Can you please repeat after me? Udhared Atmanatmanam.
Udhret Atmanam.
Yeah, you can, come out of your stop, open your audio. Udhared Atmanatmanam.
Udhret
Naatmanam avasadyet.
Natmanam Avsadet.
Natmanav avsadyet.
Atmaiva hyatmano.
Atmai Hadayatmano.
Bandhur. Atmaiva ripur atmana.
Bandhur Atmai Ritur
Udhared means deliver. Udhared means deliver. Atma can be used, the word can be used for mind, it can be used for body, it can be used for soul. So, Udhared means deliver, Atmana is mind, Atmanam means all of us, living entity. The living entity can be delivered by the mind, Na Atmana avsadyat. But Na Atmana means do not avsadyat, do not degrade yourself. What we have to do with the mind, we have to deliver ourselves. Deliver means come out of the cycle of birth and death. We should not avsadayet. Avsadayet means we should not get into degrade ourselves. Degrade ourselves means to come into the bondage. Because why? Atmaiva hyatmano bandhu. Because the mind is the bandhu means friend. Friend of the living entity. Mind is the friend of living entity, and atmaiva ripu atmana. Ripu means is the enemy. So the mind is the enemy of the living entity, and mind is also the friend of the living entity. It all depends upon how we use the mind. So Krishna says, one must deliver himself. Please repeat after me. One must deliver himself.
One must deliver himself
With the help of his mind.
With the help of his mind.
And not degrade himself.
And not degrade
not degrade
himself.
himself.
The mind is the friend of a conditioned soul.
The mind
Mind is the friend of the conditioned soul
And his enemy as well.
And his
his
enemy
enemy
as
as
well.
well.
Okay, so mind is a friend as well as enemy. It all depends upon how we are using. So we have to use the mind to deliver ourselves. Deliver ourselves means to come out of the bondage of birth and death. We should not let that become our enemy. So now let me open this. Udhred atmanatmanam na atmanam sadhyate atme. So we did this. I would request anyone to start reading the purport. Yeah. Can anyone just start reading this one? Then we'll go into the explanation. Can we see this? Yeah. The word?
The word
Anyone?
Atma denotes body, mind, and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is the central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to the sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul soul from the mire of nescience. In in material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature, and in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in the material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he high is used for emphasizing the point that one must do this. It is also said,
Right. So here, because in this shlok, Atma is used multiple times, and this chapter, this is from sixth chapter. The mind management is in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and this chapter is of called Dhyana Yoga, right? So Bhagavad Gita talks about various yog means connection. Yog means connection to Krishna. Now, before, there's karma yog, then there's gyan yog, then there's dhyan yog. So the sixth chapter, the mind management, everything is mainly from sixth chapter. It is dhyan yog, and here Krishna is saying, the Srila Prabhupada is saying that atmanam, multiple times atma is used because atma can be used for to denote both body, mind, and soul. Now, when we talk about Dhyana Yoga, it means the yoga system, the meditation system. What is the purpose of the meditation system? It is to control the mind. By yoga, by various yoga system, we try to control the mind. And for that, what is the meaning of controlling the mind? Controlling the mind is detaching it from senses. Mind is very much attached to senses. Senses is connected to the external world. External world and senses get attracted to the glitters of excess of the world, right? We see all things, and then we want to have it, right? We see, oh, my friend is going to this party, oh, this person has this car, oh, this has this house. So our senses, when we see this, we want it, and because of that, what happens? We keep on running. When we start controlling our senses, detaching it from the when we start detaching, so mind is very much, as we talked about, that mind is actually grouped by the senses. Now, when we try to detach mind, saying no, control your senses, start saying no to the senses, that is what is the purpose of yoga system. Then what will happen? So the purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from the attachment to such sense objects, right? So away from the sense objects, we have to take the mind. That is the purpose. So it is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained. So you have to train the mind in such a way that you can deliver the conditioned soul from this material world. Mind of this is it is the material world. Material world is nothing but it is the what happens? It is bonding us. It is not getting less as get liberated. So in material existence, one is subjected to the influence of mind. So when we are in the material world, we get attracted. In the being in this world, if we can detach our mind from the senses by practicing dhyan yoga meditation, but then what will happen? We will actually start control. We can make our mind powerful, and when we get strengthen our mind, then we'll start having our detach it. Then we will be able to deliver our body, deliver our soul from this material world back to the Golok Vrindavan, Vaikunt, right? In material existence, one is subject to influence of mind. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with false ego. So what happens? False ego is I. Our ego soul is not pure. If it is pure, it will be not attached to the material world. But our ego, our soul, is basically false. It means it is attached to the material world. The I-ness is there. It is mine, it is mine, this is mine. Because of that attachment that we have with all the material things, it is very, very difficult to disconnect the mind. So what we need to do? We have to detach our mind from the false ego. And because it is connected to false ego, we desire to lord it over the material nature. We want one house, we want two houses, we want this, we want that. It is all because I am attached. Instead of knowing that my soul it's a part and parcel of Krishna. I should actually be connecting to Krishna. Forget about all this material attachment I have. What I do, I get, it is a false ego. I get too much attached to material pleasure. And because of that, we are degrading ourselves. We are losing our peace. So by what we have to do, we have to, by meditation, by yoga system, we can actually practice it to disconnect our mind from the sense objects, and then we can deliver ourselves, right? This is what Krishna says. It is also said. So yes, someone else can start reading here.
Yeah. For man, mind is the cause of bondage, and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage, and mind detached from the sense objects is the cause of liberation. Atma Bindu Upanishad. Okay, yeah. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation.
Right? So mind is a cause of bondage and the mind is a cause of liberation. But what happens? Our mind is absorbed in sense objects, because of which we are bound. But if we can detach it from the sense objects, then we'll get liberated. This is as per the Amrita Bindu Upanishad 2. So what we have to do, and so what we should do, we should connect our mind to Krishna consciousness. How can we do it? And we can get liberated. How can we connect our mind to Krishna? What is the easiest way? The first thing that we should do is we should chant the mantra. We should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when we chant, what happens? We are actually a part and parcel of Krishna, but our relation is actually become weak. It has become too weak. It has become so weak that we are getting lost. But when we start chanting, we actually strengthen our relation with Krishna. When we start chanting, then we are bridging again the bridge that used to be there, which had lost, which is now very weak. We start strengthening that bridge which is between us and Krishna. So the first thing that we should do is, how we can actually strengthen our, is start chanting at least every day. Chant one round is, if you, I will probably teach in the next time how to chant. So we should take our mala, any mala you have, and start chanting. One mala has 108 beats. You can actually chant at least one round of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The more we chant, the stronger our relation will start becoming with Krishna. Okay, so this is what is this shlok that we talked about. And then we'll also go to the next shlok. This is the next slide that I have. So I would request all of us to read after me. Bandhuratman manastasya.
Bandhuratman
Bandhur atmatmanastasya.
Bandhuratman
Yenatmaivatmana jita. Bandhur atmatmanastasya. Manastasya. Yenatmaivatmana jita. Anatmanastu shatrutve. Vartetatme shatruvat. So let's read the translation. For him, to me, for him who has conquered the mind,
who has conquered the mind,
the mind is the best of friend.
the mind is the
the
best
best
of
of
is the best of friends.
But for one
But for one
who has failed to do so,
who has
who
failed
has failed to do so,
his mind will remain the greatest enemy.
his
his
mind
mind
will
will
remain
remain the greatest enemy.
Right? So for the people who has conquered the mind is best friend, and for whom it is best friend, they will get delivered, they'll get liberated. But for whom they have not conquered the mind, it is the greatest enemy. It means what will happen? They will continue into the cycle of birth and death, and may also fall down from this human life to the life of an animal, or a life of a plant, or a worm, we don't know, right? So it's very, very important that we conquer our mind. So I would request someone to read this.
The purpose of practicing Eightfold Yoga is to control the mind in order to make it a friend in discharging the human mission. Unless the mind is controlled, the practice of yoga for show is simply a waste of time. One who cannot control his mind lives always with the greatest enemy, and thus his life and its mission are spoiled. The constitutional position of the living entity is to carry out the order of the superior. As long as one's mind remains an unconquered enemy, one has to serve the dictations of lust, anger, avarice, illusion, etc. But when the mind is conquered, one voluntarily agrees to abide by the dictation of the personality of Godhead, who is situated within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. Real yoga practice entails meeting the Paramatma within the heart and then following his dictation. For one who takes to Krishna consciousness directly, perfect surrender to the dictation of the Lord follows automatically.
Right? So basically, very simple. So those who have conquered the mind, then what has happened? We are already moving towards the path of liberation. But who has failed to do so, then what we will see in such people? You will see lust. They are always greedy for things. You will see anger. They will be very angry. You can see what do you call it? Lust, anger, greed. Yeah, you will see greed. So all these negative qualities will be seen in them. I want more, I want more, I want more, and more attachment to the material world. So if we want to get liberated, come out of the cycle of and get happiness, then we have to basically conquer our mind. And for conquering, how can we conquer that? As we say, we have to control the mind by intelligence, by spiritual practice. And spiritual practice means what? Either meditation, we do meditation, we focus on Paramatma in our heart, a super soul who stays here, or we chant the Maha Mantra, we chant Maha Mantra. The more we chant, down the line, after years, when we start chanting, what will happen? We'll see a change, and then we will get what we are looking for, right? So this is what the two what do you call it shlok that is now. So why mind? The question was, why do we need to manage the mind? Because mind, if not managed, is the greatest enemy, and if managed, is the greatest friend. And the second, so the example here is, if it is not managed, then the mind is like a knife in the hand of a child. Then imagine if a sharp knife is in the hand of a small child, how much damage the child can do. It can spoil everything, it can harm anyone, right? It is also equivalent to uncontrolled fire. You can imagine how much damage an uncontrolled fire can do. Same fire, if it is controlled, same knife, it is controlled in the hand of a mother, can make beautiful dishes. But same knife in the hand of a child can do so much damage. Similarly, an uncontrolled fire. Same fire, which is uncontrolled, can burn, we don't know how much loss it can bring. And same fire, when it is controlled, it can make such beautiful dishes for everyone. Similarly, car being driven by a drunkard. If a car is being driven by a sober person, it can take us to the destination. But if there's a car in the hand of a drunkard, you don't know how many people it will kill on the way. And these are the way we can understand how the mind can be an enemy and how the mind will be a friend, right? So with this, probably we'll stop today, because then it is Arjun's dilemma, and I would like to, we'll go into the characteristics of the mind. So then it'll be more of a continuation, right? So I would now request someone to summarize at what we have read today. Yes, please, Anshu.
Basically, today we discuss about the importance of mind, how the mind interacting is helpful to interact between soul and our body, and mind can be our good friend or maybe a bad enemy. All depend upon how we are controlling our senses through intellect and our good consciousness, I think.
Right. True. Anyone like to add anything else?
Crux of the lecture is that one should be able to manage the mind if someone wants to get positive outcomes.
Yes. Mind is the greatest friend, and it can be the biggest enemy. So we have to manage the mind. And we saw what is mind, what does it store. We saw what where exactly it is located, how does it work, and then with an example of chariot, we saw how the different parts of body are there and how exactly it impacts, and then why it is important to manage the mind. This is what we did, and tomorrow, the next time, we'll continue and try to complete this topic and move forward. So I'm already a part of this WhatsApp group. If you have any questions later also, you can always write to me and I'll try my best to answer to the best of my ability. So with this, Hare Krishna. Let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times and end our class today. And my request to each of you will be that if whenever you get time, start chanting, get up in the morning, chant, start your day by getting spiritual energy. Start with that. You will start seeing a difference in the life. Yeah. So let us start chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare
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 Hare.
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 Thank you, everyone. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Susmita.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mother.
Hare
Thank you very
Krishna.
much.